Hi boys and girls, today we're going to go over verb tenses for your language arts activity for Monday, September 14th. So the first thing I want you to do is get your spiral, and we're going to turn to a clean page. We're working in our reading notebook. Turn to a clean page and I want you to set it up just like you see here. We have verb tenses for our title, the date, and then I want you to put past, present, future, and put 1 through 5 going down. Okay? So 3 different sections. Now, as I'm going through the lesson and sorting verb tenses with you on the PowerPoint, I want you to be writing down 5 examples of each. 5 past, 5 present, and 5 future. So first, let's review what a verb is. A verb is something that is action. It shows action. Now, there are different ways to write a verb. You may be talking in past tense, which means it's something that already happened. Present tense means it's happening right now. And future tense means it's going to happen later on. Okay? So let's look at some words and some verbs and sort them into the correct category. You'll notice a pattern on some of the words. So let's start with the word taught. Taught is going to be past tense for teach. So if I teach and I did it in the past, taught would be the word that we would use. Present tense would be teaches. Future tense, we're going to say will teach. She will teach in the future. Okay? The next word, eat. Okay? So the verb eat. Past tense, meaning it happened in the past, is ate. Present tense is eats. That means you're doing it right now. Future, meaning what's going to happen later, is will eat. So will eat. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Hid. That is past tense for the word hide. So the verb is hide. Past tense would be hid. We hid from the dogs coming down the street. Hides. Hides means present tense. Okay? She hides in the bushes. Okay? Will hide is future tense. Okay? So far, let's look at what we have and see if we see a pattern. In the future tense, I can see that every verb has will in the front of it. Will teach, will eat, will hide. Okay? Present tense. I can see that every verb in the present tense has an S or ES on the end of it. Teaches, eats, hides. Past tense. Taught, ate, hid. I don't see a pattern there yet, but we'll keep going and maybe we'll see some words that do have a pattern in the past tense. Okay. Think. If my verb is think, what would be the past tense of that? Okay. If you're thinking the word thought, then you're correct. Thought is past tense. Thinks would be present tense. That means you're doing it right now. And will think in the future. So again, we have will that is put in front of the verb to make it future tense. Okay? Next is the verb sing. So sing, if I did it in the past, that means I sang. She sang the national anthem at the game last week. Okay? Now we're still on the verb sing. So present tense, she sings the Star Spangled Banner this morning on the announcements. Okay? Will sing. She will sing the Star Spangled Banner tomorrow on the announcements. Will sing. So that's future tense. something that's going to happen later. Okay, so again, I still see the same pattern going in future. Everything has will in front of it. Same thing for present. I have S or ES on the end of all those verbs. Past, all these words have just changed to a new word. Instead of saying, we changed it to sang. So I don't really see a pattern between all those verbs yet. Okay, now let's do run. If my verb is run, what would be the past tense of that? Ran, that's correct. So ran is past tense. Runs is present, meaning it's happening right now. And will run is the future tense. Okay? Now let's do the verb cry. Cry. So past tense would be cried. Present, she cries. Starting the column. And future would be will cry. She will cry when she watches that sad movie tomorrow. Okay? Next word is paste. This is one of your vocabulary words. To pace means to nervously walk back and forth. So pace, the past tense would be paced. P-A-C-E-D. Future, will pace. Now what do you think the present tense would be? Paces. Good. So I'm still seeing that same pattern. S or ES is added to the end. She paces as she thinks about what to cook for dinner. Okay, the next word is salute, which is another one of your vocabulary words we talked about, which means when you hold your hand up like this to your forehead and you're greeting someone with respect. So past tense would be saluted. We saluted the officers as they walked by in the parade last night. Okay, salutes. Salutes would be present tense. She salutes the officers walking in the parade. So see the difference? It's happening right now. So she salutes the officers walking in the parade. Okay? And past or future tense, same thing, the same pattern, we put will salute. She will salute the officers marching in the parade tomorrow night. Okay, two more verbs. Let's go with the verb trap, because this is happening in your story this week. They trap the bear. The trapper does. So past tense is trapped. He trapped the bear in a cage. Present tense happens right now. He traps the bear at the train station. The next one, in the future, if it's going to happen later, we would say he will trap the bear if it walks this way. Okay? And the last verb, scroll. Scroll meaning to go up and down where one thing disappears and another one appears. So scroll, the past tense would be scrolled. Present tense, scrolls. And future, will scroll. Okay, so now we've sorted all of our verbs. We want to look at the patterns that we see now. Let's start with future. Every single verb for future tense ended up having will in front of it. So, in order to change a verb to future tense, meaning that you want to change it to something that's happening later to make it sound like something's happening later, not right now, you would put the word will in front of it. Okay? Now for present tense, if you want to make it sound like it's something happening right now, you would write your sentence with the verb having S or ES on the end of it. Okay? So we can see here every verb that we put in this center column has S or ES. We have cries, paces, eats, thinks. So all of those ended up with an S. Okay, now let's look at past. I have some over here on the left where we didn't really see a pattern. They just became a new version of that same word. Instead of putting hide, we put hid. Instead of putting eat, we put ate. So they became a whole different word. Okay, now the ones on the right side of this category, they do have a pattern. So if you notice, they all end in what? If you're thinking D or ED, then you're correct. So cried, paced, saluted, trapped, scrolled. So past tense can be the only one that might be a little bit tricky when you're writing it. Sometimes the word will completely change, like the ones you see on the left side in the past column. And most of the time you can just add ED on the end of the verb to make it past tense. Okay? So don't forget to go ahead and record 5 verbs in each column of your spiral. Okay? Make sure they all go together. So don't put taught and then eats and then will teach. They have to all go together. So if you decide to put taught in the past side, then you need to put teaches and will teach for number 1 across your spiral. Okay? So don't forget to do that, and then you will upload a picture of that in Seesaw for Monday, September 14th.